Hey everybody, how's it going? Thank you for coming to this amazing interview we have going on today with Blood Moon Paranormal. Hello, Bubbles, how's it going? Matt, how's it going, man? Hope you're doing good. Um, and we're gonna go bring up Blood Moon Paranormal. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Just starting off a nice beautiful night,
Yeah.
and there's wonderful people here. So yeah.
Awesome.
So let's go ahead and get started though. So, what got you interested in this wonderful journey with the paranormal? Like,
So mine's kind of a long story, but we're gonna go into it.
okay, that's fine.
um. So when I was like 7 or 8, we moved into this neighborhood that I'm currently still in, and this whole neighborhood's just filled with like elderly people. So like there was no one that I could, being 8 years old, really relate to that well. So 2 doors down, this kid was there visiting his grandparents and decided to come down and was like, "Hey, I heard you're the new kid in the neighborhood. There's no one to play with on the street. So you want to come over and play GameCube?" And I'm like, "GameCube? I'm in. I'm in right now."
yeah, yeah.
So we went over to his grandparents' house and we were playing GameCube. We went to go turn on the TV, and it's like one of these older box TVs where it's kind of like more glossier on the front. And I saw this painting in the reflection, or maybe I saw the painting first. I can't remember totally,
Mhm.
but I looked at the painting, and it was a painting of a little girl, and she was smiling. And I'm like, that's weird. I turn towards the TV, look at the reflection, and in the reflection, she's frowning.
Oh
And
wow.
I showed my friend, and it was like the back and forth of like she's smiling and frowning and stuff like that. Um, we wanted to ignore it, so we turned on the TV and just started playing GameCube.
Yeah.
Couple years later, 2012, I'm 12 years old, and yeah, I start getting into it. I start watching Ghost Adventures. Not a huge fan of Ghost Adventures now. I feel like they've, yeah.
You never
um,
do.
but I got into it at the time, and I was like, I wanna experience this for myself. I wanna go experience this for myself. So we were talking to my friend's sister, and she mentions this asylum 2 hours south of where we're currently at, and she's like, it's abandoned, just sneak in through the basement, which is like the pool area. And we're like, okay, like how do we get down there? And my mom is like, whatever you want to do, like we'll go do it. So I'm like, okay. So my mom drives us down there to 2 hours south to go into this abandoned hospital. And we get there, and the whole building is lit up in purple lights, like
Oh, wow.
all lit up spotlights, like all the side. And we're like, this is not abandoned, unless there's some sort of like rave going on or something.
Yeah.
Um, so we start walking up to it, and I'll never, ever, ever, ever forget this. Never forget this. As soon as we walked up to the front door, this guy comes out in this southern accent. He's like, "Y'all here for the ghost tour?" And we're like, "Yeah, we are now." So experienced some stuff that night, and then it all started there.
Yeah.
So
So, do you think that that spirit you've seen in the mirror? Do you think it still follows you around a certain way?
the painting,
Yes.
yeah, actually, I ended up buying it from the owner. It's right there.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Nice. That is
Yeah, I
crazy.
I bought it from the owner, and which was his which was my friend's grandmother, which has passed since then. She's a nice
Mhm.
lady. God bless
Cool.
her soul.
That's
Um,
that's sad.
so yeah, now I have the painting, and it's actually, I found out, so that happened in 2012. Wait, no, 2008, that experience.
Mhm.
I got the painting in 2019, and
Mhm.
then I found out the origins of the painting in 2020. Um, the painting, this is actually a replica of the original.
Mhm.
The original is at the Driscoll Hotel in Texas.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
And the story is of the little girl. It's the like the original owner's daughter who
Mhm.
fell down the staircase at the hotel and died.
Oh wow, that is
Yeah,
wild. I heard about that story.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, being in Texas yourself, you know, you I'm sure you've heard of the Driscoll and like
Oh yeah.
all that
I
stuff.
heard about
So
it. It's awesome. Bubbles wants to know if you can show that picture one more time.
yeah,
The painting.
absolutely. It's right in my room. So like you're gonna that's it
Oh,
right
that's
there.
awesome.
Yep.
Wow. So, what, like, go ahead and give us maybe details how you. And I know you use a drone to like, I know in the beginning you didn't have that probably, but can you give us a little bit how you enter the location, what you use, how long it takes to set up cameras and all the good stuff?
Now or back then?
Oh, back then and later, yeah.
Okay, so back then, oh man, we had one camera with like maybe two batteries for it. Like it was like the one that the rechargeable ones you put back into it. So once the battery died, we
Hmm.
could not continue filming. So we had to be very sparse about our filming and just kind of like really like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. So back in the day, we would just go in, do the tour of the building with the tour guide and whatever.
Hmm.
I had someone write down the history. I don't do that anymore. We kind of just record the interview now because
Well,
it's
we
like,
also have a field researcher.
yeah, we have a field researcher now. But back in the day, we would have one camera. We'd have maybe a GoPro or two. Um, and then we'd have like a picture camera as well. So I don't know. It was just like we had the spirit box, a K2, a temperature reader, and like an IR camera. That's it.
Oh
Now
wow.
it's like we have like giant cases of equipment that we've acquired over the years, and
Like
Yeah.
you know,
5 giant briefcases,
yeah,
like hard cases,
yeah,
three camera bags.
yeah. It's like a whole thing now, and like now we go into a place. The first thing we do, depending on our time frame, is I like to do an interview with the tour guide or the owner. So like I'll set up the cameras. That takes about 10 minutes to set up the cameras. We'll do the interview. That takes another 10 minutes. Um, and then she and if there's another photographer with us, we'll go and take photos of the building, exterior and interior. Usually exterior first. Right after the interview, I don't take the setup down. I go outside. I start doing drone footage.
Yeah.
And then after drone footage, I do B-roll footage with my camera.
Hmm.
Um, After that, usually we'll order food. We'll get some pizza or something like that. A K2 is a EMF meter, so it picks up electromagnetic forces. But we'll get some food. We'll chill. We'll hang out for a bit. Kind of shoot the shit. Um, and then yeah, then we start investigating.
Well, I got a question about that. Like, do you guys have like a list or something? I know some paranormal investigators they have a list of like what they have so they don't leave it behind. I mean, do you guys do that?
We probably should, but we don't.
We
I
should.
was
We
just
should.
asking.
We should. Yeah. I in my memory, like when I
Well,
when I pack up, it's like stuff has certain spots. So if I notice something's missing, I'm like, that's missing. Where's it at?
it's
So
the pull core foam in like
Yeah.
sealed cases. So like if it's not in
yeah,
there, and then like I'm responsible for my camera bag and my stuff that I bring that, and then like whoever else brings their stuff, they're responsible for it.
Nice. Okay, cool, cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys have a hard time setting equipment up because sometimes when you guys are like setting it up, like sometimes it messes up, like whatever you guys putting it on or whatever. It's kind of like a weird angle or whatever. Like, I mean, do you guys like put tape on it to get the right angle of it, or you guys really got little things you get to like put on it so you can stay at
oh,
that
we
place?
have we have like tripods and like lighting
Yeah.
stands and stuff like that. So
Okay. Okay.
I mean, there's like back in the past, we never used to have that kind of stuff. So like
Mhm.
we would have issues with that all the time. But now, you know, I've been doing this for 10 years. It's like I've acquired enough stuff to be able to do that kind of stuff. Like, um, so
And then
Yeah.
also during investigations, we're a lot of like doing handheld camera stuff, so we
Yeah,
don't have
that
to
too.
worry about it like setting up a tripod, all of us being in frame and all that. Usually we have a designated person, or we just pass around the camera, take
Yeah.
turns on it.
So I know I was watching one of your videos and like I seen you try to you guys used EMF wire or something. We have it on.
Yep, the
Tripwire.
tripwire.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's amazing right there. I want one of them.
Yeah, those are really cool. I was really reluctant to get one at first. I was a little skeptical about it, especially because there was someone I was talking to before that device even came out, and they came up with the idea and then never did it. And I was just like, I feel bad if I bought it, but then I was like, it's really cool. So I was like, I'm gonna just get it. So we got that, and then like we use it for the first time, and like it's the coolest thing. But there's certain aspects about it that I'm like skeptical about.
Yeah.
So
Like, what is that like?
so it seems like when one pod goes off,
Mhm.
there's another pod down the line that also goes off, and I'm a little skeptical that the wiring is messed up somehow, because it's supposed to be like an individual EMF meter per pod. So if there's 10 pods, there's 10 EMF meters there.
Okay.
So like with that, it's like if that one pod is going off, I'm worried that it's sending an electrical current to the other pod down the line. So
Okay.
it makes it hard to tell which one is actually going off.
I see. But when you do that, because I know you guys work as a team, right? I see that, right?
Yeah.
I know that's kind of confusing at times, but don't you guys? I noticed you guys use radios, like just in case one does go off on the other side. An investigator's probably there saying, "Hey, that's just that certain thing going off. That's not me or anything else. Like there could be a rodent passing by it, or they can, that can trigger it, right?
Yeah. So humans can't trigger the EMF wire at all.
Oh, they can't. Okay.
It's all like electrical stuff. So a walkie could trigger it. We're very, very, very careful about the walkies because like
It'll set off a
yeah,
REM pod.
it'll set off a REM pod. It'll send off I think it might even set off the music box too, to be honest with you.
It might. Yeah.
So we're very careful about the like the walkie situation. If we need walkies, we use them, but if we don't need them, we don't use them. Mostly during like our isolations that we do is when we use the walkies, or if we're at a bigger location.
And we split up and.
Well, because it's also good to do that too, because what would happen like when your investigators is shutting the door or closing the window? Just saying, I'm not saying they would, but I'm just saying, and you're like, oh, what is that noise? And they're like, hey, that's me,
Yeah,
that's me, Bob, or
Yeah, but that's usually like we usually do that at a bigger location. So if we went to like a house investigation, the houses are smaller, so like we could just like shout up the stairs or something like that, like, hey, was that you?
We still make sure though.
Yeah, we still make sure.
Tight communication to make sure it's not someone else, or we try to debunk and make sure it's not anything non-paranormal first.
Right.
So when you go into locations, because I know they're probably old locations, do you guys check just in case there's any like holes for like rodents coming in or any possums or?
We try to. Yeah, I had a bad experience with a bobcat once at a location.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we definitely try to
exterior of the location. It didn't get inside.
Yeah, I know,
Say
but it's still
people are gonna think that the bobcat got inside.
No, the bobcat didn't get inside, but like
wow.
It was still pretty scary though,
On the outside, bats.
But like we do deal with a lot of bats. I will say that we deal with a lot of bats during investigations. So
we leave them alone. That's their house.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you don't go in there, especially like if you're doing like a overnight investigation.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because you got to be very careful because you don't know what's there or if that house has like. I mean, I'm pretty sure they'll tell you there's a homeless person there, but you never know when you just going down the road. You're like, oh, let's go ahead and check this place out. I'm pretty sure you guys don't. I'm pretty sure you guys, do the research on the building to see if it's abandoned or any security cameras or, that you can't go in there or not. But
yeah, I mean, we mostly pay for our locations we go to,
or have like, what is it? permission. There you
Yeah,
go.
we have. I mean, we pay to go. We have permission.
We never trespass.
I used to do the urban exploring stuff where like we break into places and stuff like that. Not like break in. You know what I mean? Like
Just
where the doors just walked in. But like I don't do that anymore. I don't feel like dealing with cops on that. You know, it's just too much of a hassle.
We have too much stuff and too much on the line to risk dealing with that.
Yeah,
so permission is much better than
breaking in. Yeah.
Oh, nice. I know you guys were. There's been a couple locations. I know there's one where you're doing. I forgot which one it is. Go back to it. Where you guys went to the basement and a couple of basements as well. I know you guys done a lot of them, so I want to say the Bell Mansion that you guys went to downstairs in the basement. Like a lot of people say, they're creepy, but they're not. What do you think about basements? What kind of stuff you got from that?
I think basements can be creepy for sure, especially like when they're not finished and they're made out of stone and stuff like that. But like. They're basements, like they're part of the house. There's other active areas in the house usually.
Doesn't always have to be the basement.
Yeah, it doesn't always have to be the basement. I mean, we've had times where it's literally been the attic, like the opposite end.
Yeah. Have you ever had anything getting tossed at you or scratches or?
Yes. Scratches. We're very careful with scratches. We don't usually take scratches as paranormal, just because there's a lot of occurrences where you do it to yourself on accident, and then all of a sudden, like, you see it, and you're like, "Where'd that come from?"
Yeah.
Stuff thrown at us, though. That place, that hospital I was telling you about at the beginning of this podcast, I had a rock thrown at my shoe there.
Oh, wow.
Probably about I'd say like that big. And it was weird because I heard scuffling from that corner that it was in, and my K2 meter, the EMF was spiking. It was like spiking like crazy, and then the rock was thrown. So whatever was in there didn't want me over in its corner, So
Wow.
that's the only thing I can really think of that we've had thrown at us. I don't think you've had anything thrown at you.
I haven't had anything thrown at me, but I've heard like plexiglass creaking very badly due to a spirit's weight. And like hearing like it wasn't thrown at me, but like pieces of tile that were broken up at this sanatorium we were at. It like whatever was there kicked a small piece of tile like next to me, like it was like walking next to me, and I heard the tile like getting kicked, but nothing specifically at me.
Wow, that's crazy. How did you react to that?
She is brave. I'm telling you, she's the bravest one in the group. She's brave.
Thank you. I take that as a big compliment because I do try to push myself, but I'm there to investigate. You got to be brave to get that evidence. You got to just stand your ground. But that's pretty much what I did. I was doing an isolation, and it was a part. So at the sanatorium, it was also a nursing home. And I was in it was like an X, a T, whatever you want to call it. I was right dead center. And so I had every which way open, and I'm just sitting in my chair. Once I heard like scuffling towards me, I heard the tile move, and then it walked around in front of me, and then I heard plexiglass that was on the floor like bending, like someone was stepping on it. I shone my flashlight, make sure there wasn't like an animal or anything, but I didn't see it, but I was hearing it right in front of me, and I just like bravehearted down. I had my other hand like grabbed underneath my chair just so I had something to like grab onto, and I just try to keep my breath calm and breathing calm and just wrote it out. So
that must be wild though, because it's just like let's talk about personal experience, like something that your husband or boyfriend, right?
boyfriend.
Yeah, that didn't hear when you heard, like, or a phantom smells, or let's go and talk about that. What each of y'all, you know what I mean? Because y'all guys had different experiences, probably.
What are you talking about? Like with her story?
Yeah, what with y'all? Yeah, all together. Like, what kind of personal experience have you guys had?
I mean, we've been on a lot together, so
Yeah. Like, do you like if it's like I experience something and he doesn't,
Yeah,
he's like right
yeah.
next to me?
Oh
It,
yeah.
it it's a lot of trust. It is. We all. I feel like everybody else on the team too. We have to trust each other to
Mhm.
be able to be like, okay, you're smelling something or you just heard something in your ear,
Mhm.
but we didn't. But I feel like we are all on the same page to where we want to debunk first, make sure it's nothing else. But if you heard it, you heard it. If you smelled it, you saw it. Then
yeah, it's a lot of trust because like it's not just me and her in the group. There's like about 10 or 11 of us, I think. So it's all trust when it comes to that. Every single one of these people in my group, I have to trust, and I do trust. Um,
we know they're not going to
yeah,
try to fake anything. They're not going to exaggerate it. I feel like a lot of us try to tone it down as much as possible
yeah,
to just make sure it's actually paranormal. So it is a lot of trust.
and
Like,
yeah, and that's why I'm super picky when it comes to bringing people on the team. Like
Mhm.
I'm so picky. I have about 50 applications sitting there, and I'm just like I don't.
It's hard to
It's
pick
hard.
one
It's hard to trust people.
and
Yeah.
make sure we're all on the same page.
Especially like like if you bring someone new, I mean, sort of like like, is my equipment going to be there before I leave? I mean, I'm not saying that they would steal. Some new people would take anything, but or are you afraid they're just going to leave anything behind as well? That's valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean the leaving thing. Like I handle all the equipment, so like I'm not too worried about that. Stealing is another thing that I am worried about. There's like disrespect. Towards the location and the owners. Like I'm huge on that. There has to be respect there for the location and the
Oh
owners.
yeah,
They're allowing us to do
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Regardless if we paid. I don't care if we paid. There
Mhm.
has to be respect there and respect towards the spirits as well. Can't go in there and start calling them a bunch of names and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
it has to be justified at the very least. Like if you're going after like an ex murderer, you're not going after like some kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Are they are the owners like picky on what they want you to use to communicate with the spirits?
Some of them are. Some of them don't allow certain pieces of equipment. Uh,
Mainly a
a lo-
Ouija board.
yeah, a lot of the time it's like Ouija
Yeah.
boards. They don't allow. They don't allow summonings at some places. They don't allow. Some places don't allow provoking either, which I get. I understand. We're respectful about that kind of stuff. We won't. If they don't want us to provoke, we won't provoke.
Mm-hmm.
Some places don't want. I don't know. There's rules at some places. You have to sign a waiver.
Conjuring, if
Yeah,
you.
it's
Yeah.
also it's for your safety as well.
Yeah.
They don't want
Yeah.
you to get hurt.
100%. 100%.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like rules of the house. Like if you're going in someone's house and those are their rules, you got to respect it, which is fine. We don't freak out about it. We're just like, okay, that's
The
fine.
rules.
Those are the rules.
We
We'll
play by the
just go
rules.
around them.
Mhm.
Like, we'll obey whatever they say. We normally don't, like, for Ouija boards, that is the main one.
Yeah.
But we don't even
We don't.
really,
We don't.
we don't
Yeah.
have
own
y'all
one.
tried one before?
What was that?
Have y'all tried using one before?
Yeah, I've tried using one 3 times, and each time nothing. I've Ouija boards have never worked for me. So
I've tried twice, and both times, the first time I felt like was done like not the best, and the second time when I actually really tried, and so unfortunately, as much
I know
as I
they say.
wanted,
I know they say there's no glass thing in the middle. Like, I mean, maybe it's the movies. I don't know, but I don't know if you guys ever had tried one of them before. They have little, where you move around the planchette, and like they have a little glass thing, and if you look at, you'll see the spirits. You look through it. Is that true or no?
it's probably just the movies, to be honest with you. I could be wrong though. I don't know.
Well, a lot of the time too, the ones that you get, like people that normally get them from the store and stuff, they're plastic planchettes with usually no glass or like a clear plastic in them, just for safety
Oh, yeah.
reasons. And
Yeah.
a lot of the time, yeah, it's like a magnifying glass, though. I mean, I can't say no because you never know, but a lot of the time I feel like that's hyped up in the movies too.
Yeah. Do you think that like I know that have you ever had like let's say you're at a certain like you go home you just investigated have you ever had dreams about that location or something to try to contact you through your dreams?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
too.
I I have two things that happen with dreams. The first thing is um months prior to going somewhere, I'll have a
Mhm.
dream about that place. And then once we go to that place, it'll happen in real time um months after that dream. So like I don't know, let's say that we went on an investigation and Emily dropped a penny on the ground, right? In my dream. We get to the investigation, next thing you know she drops a penny on the ground.
Mhm.
So it's like it's I don't know. Like I have those kind of dreams and then also I think I do have an attachment right now. I'm not a huge believer in attachments or anything like that. I'm a huge skeptic on that type of stuff, but
Mhm.
I've been having some responses come to me at other locations relating to one specific location. So
Mhm.
I'm like, what is going on? It's really weird.
So like a vision, sort of like
Deja vu.
Yeah, there's deja vu moments. Yeah, deja vu moments for sure.
okay, like what would you do? Like, well, there was a question real quick, and then I'll ask you the question. I was gonna ask you.
I'm not a huge person that believes in phone apps. If that's what you're referring to. Um,
I was gonna ask you that too.
yeah, I'm not a huge phone app person. I do not believe in them. I think our phones can cause that to go off and stuff. So,
Yeah, or it's sort of like what spirit box do you use to communicate the spirits with?
I use the SP7.
Also,
That is my preferred. So,
hey, spirit stalkers. Yeah, my internet's just like
hey, what's
yeah,
up, Jake?
but it's been going off and on. So, but but yeah, no, like using one like like they have these apps on the phone and everything. It's like they say a certain name or whatever, and you're like, oh my god, and I'm just like, is it real or is it really someone trying to communicate with you?
Yeah, and
Or
I've
if
been
it's
hearing about this app called Spirit Talker, I think it's called. I've been hearing
mm,
that's a good one. Again, I'm
okay.
just not a huge Spirit Talker, it's
Mm,
called. I I don't know. I'm just never been a huge app person. I guess I'm just a little more traditional when it comes to that. Um, but I've heard some good responses come through that are relevant to the location they're at.
mhm,
Um,
It's just hard though because like it's been proven your phone listens to your conversations, like
yeah.
recordings and stuff. So like I
Oh
feel
yeah.
like using me personally, I feel like using just a spirit box or like an ovulus, there isn't any other outside things that could manipulate it that like an
Yeah.
SB7 it can't record your voice. It can't listen to you. So, whatever you're getting, you're getting. Same thing with an ovulus, it's not listening to you. It's not like trying to match where you are or what you're saying. Whatever you get, it's what you get.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of tricky there a little bit. What do you think about like crucifixes and stuff like that? Do you guys use any protection when you go on the property against the spirits and the outside public?
so I'm personally not religious at all.
Okay.
So all of the investigating I do is strictly science. I look at it from a science aspect. I try to debunk things. I try to prove theories, all of that stuff. I just, I'm not a religious person, so I don't use any protection when it comes to ghost hunting.
Okay.
So that's just me personally. I don't know.
I
She
mean,
does sometimes, I think. I don't know.
I mean, I'm Wiccan, but honestly, I don't use like going into a location. I don't use any like protection, anything like spells or charms or anything like that, because I think it may hinder activity, you know, and I don't want to do anything to like reduce the possibility of communication. You know, I'm going to this place to investigate, and obviously like anybody else, they want to get as much evidence as possible with it being probable. I don't want to put like a protection spell on me and then like have all the spirits steer away from me. You know, I want to, you know, I don't want to hinder anything like that. I mean, there was one time at Em Row House, because that was a different story, you know, a different beast right there. But I purse like day to day, you know, I'm there for a protection spell, you know, just against people's negative energy and stuff like that. But during an investigation, I don't bring anything.
How about like because I know they say if you put like salt around the door, they can't. I know it's going off topic a little bit. I'm sorry, but like, is that true? What do you guys think about that? I mean, like I've seen a lot of investigations like on like I see a lot of YouTubers when they do theirs, and they say if you put salt around the door, that's protection that the spirits can't get into the room or out. What do you think about that?
I personally don't have an opinion on that because I'm not sure if that works or not. Because like obviously we can't see the spirit, so it's like, how do we know if it goes up to the wall and like tries to go through it? You know, of the wall of salt. You know, yeah. I guess I don't really have an opinion about it. I don't know why it would stop them unless, because like according to my theories, like it's all waves and stuff like that. So if salt can stop wavelengths from going through, um, then yeah, it would stop. You know, I would probably stop a spirit, but I guess
How far up does that wall build go, though?
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
Well, how about sage? I mean, can't that help in the environment of where the spirits act? Maybe calm it down a little bit, or
that's all her.
okay.
okay, there you go.
I mean, well, with sage, a lot of locations don't want you to sage. One, just because it's a smoke hazard, you know, there's not a lot of good ventilation. And then two, usually saging drives away negative energies and spirits, or just any energy that's just kind of indifferent, you know. And obviously, like I said earlier, everybody goes to get evidence, you know. You don't want to push away that chance to get evidence. So, like, I mean, if you're at home, you're coming back home from an investigation. If you want to sage yourself, get all those energies, if that's, or like spirits, if they may attach to you, if you believe in that, or just any energies you still have, or you feel you still have, that's a good way to get rid of them. But saging at a location, I feel like there's just
It's extremely frowned upon.
yeah, because it's
like
like you're getting rid of.
yeah, it's like you're getting rid of the spirits that are there. So like a lot of locations don't want you to do it at all because it's like, well, you know, if
You're
they want to,
clearing the house out.
it's. I feel bad for saying it, but like the spirits are what make these owners money to restore the building and restore the history and to be allowed to keep doing these ghost tours. So if you went in there with sage and saged the place, like you would literally
You can kill down the activity,
Yeah.
and then people won't be
And-
going there anymore because there's not
yeah,
activity.
and unfortunately that has happened with a couple of locations that we've been to. We didn't do the saging, but other people did, and
That got a lot
Yeah.
of people very upset.
yes.
Wow. How about that versus private home investigations?
Yeah, so that's definitely different because like a lot of the times we haven't done like a lot of private home investigations, but the ones we have done, I think there's
You've done like 2
like there's like 2 that
full home
Yeah.
investigations.
and
One of them,
she was there for one of them where
Yeah.
we saged the house.
Yeah,
She saged the house and got everything out.
Yeah, they wanted the homeowners wanted the house saged.
Mhm.
We're not gonna go into someone's house and just sage it, you know, just
Yeah.
because it's sage. But they wanted it to happen, so I saged the whole house, you know, and we haven't heard anything negative.
Yeah,
since.
it's actually
quiet.
it's been a year now this month since we've done that, and
Yeah.
yeah,
They're good.
they're good.
So
It's kind of like, I mean, like, it's kind of 50-50. I mean, you can at least tell them, hey, that might not work, that might work. I mean,
Yeah,
it could
and
be.
that's what we told them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we told them that right from the beginning. What we might do, it might work, it might not work. I can't guarantee anything. I'm not a person that believes in sage personally, so that's why I had her do it. So like the fact that it worked and we haven't heard anything, it makes me wonder if it's like it actually worked,
I did a good
or
job.
if it's like mind over matter, like because
Yeah.
the people living there are like, all right,
Peace
like
of mind.
peace of mind because they saged the house, So
Yeah. I mean, not every house has spirits in it.
Yeah.
It could be a fun house effect too as well towards
Yeah.
them. It could maybe be like the wind, or like rodents. Like I said, I know that not everybody's an exterminator, but like I said a while back when we first started, that you got to always look at every angle of the plate, every angle, because if not, it's not going to work
Yeah.
like that.
And that house was definitely haunted.
Oh,
Like I'm
wow.
gonna say it right off the bat. That house was definitely haunted.
You know who haunted it?
Yeah, so the previous owner that had the house was married and he died in the house of a heart attack.
Oh, wow.
The current owners, the people that live there, were experiencing a bunch of stuff and reached out to the previous owner. The previous owner reached out to us. And so I was dealing with both families, the new owner and the previous owner. I was dealing with both of them, and the previous owner was like, well, if you could record the session that you do and send it to me. And we did. And what I had her do was I had her do a voice recording, like it's a 2-minute recording of her like telling her husband like it's okay to move on, like blah blah blah, like kind of going on about it. And like it was just it was emotional. It was. And like when we brought the recording there to do the spirit box session with, like stuff was coming through the spirit box and responding to her voice recording. We recorded it and sent it to her, and the voices that were coming through, according to her, was her husband.
Like it sounded like
it sounded like her husband. So we were like, that's crazy. Like that is so crazy.
As for, I understand, but like, let's say if they wanted your help to move her husband on, could you guys do that, or you need to,
That's kind of what we did.
What we think we did.
We think we did. I will openly admit I don't know how it works. I personally don't believe in a heaven or hell, so like it's hard for me to be like, oh, we moved him on. You know what I mean? Like I don't know where it goes from there. So, we did the sage thing. We told them it was okay to move on, all that stuff. So like
closure.
Just like kind of like a closure thing. Again, I don't know.
Well, that's what we were assuming he was still there for. He was just not done, and he didn't have anybody familiar to tell him it was okay to carry on, So I feel like, or at least closure for all. I feel like it was closure for everybody. The wife of the husband, the family that was currently living there.
Everyone involved. It was just closure.
Yeah. So,
but to you guys, personally, like, do you feel him like moving on?
I didn't feel really like any energy in the house when I got there. It could be because it's just one spirit, or it could be, I don't know, like I could tell when the session was over. We played the message, stuff was coming through, and we were like, it's okay, whatever his name was. I can't remember what his name is. It's been like a year. We were like, it's okay to move on. Like, it's okay. This family just is trying to live here and stuff like that. And I think it said, okay. And then we kept the spirit box running and nothing came through after that. So,
wow.
I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, you could just tell just off of that, the energy doesn't even need to be there. Just like the responses and
Yeah.
the lack of responses after the responses.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It makes you think: was she holding him there, like because she couldn't move on, or he wanted to be near her? Like it makes I mean.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the closure was definitely
Okay.
made.
Cool.
To answer that question right there on the
Yeah.
bottom,
Yeah.
what is I'm sorry, going the Lizzie Borden house. Yes, we want to go to the Lizzie Borden house. It's really far from us though.
Mhm.
The Conjuring house is not too far from it, but that was already a 15-hour drive. I'm guessing it's going to be about a 16-hour drive to get to the Lizzie Borden house, and it's
Oh,
really expensive. So
yeah. She has two more questions. I think that one, and there's another one pop up. So that one, and then there's this one.
yeah, I've actually heard people talk about the voice to text coming through with spirit responses, but so
Mm-hmm.
it takes away the assumption of what the responses are that come through. So if I had an open spirit box right now and
Mm-hmm.
I asked the question, what's your favorite color? And something came through the spirit box, everybody's going to assume, oh, it said red, for
Or
example,
thinking it's gonna
or
say a color.
thinking it's going to say color. It's that assumption because you just asked the question about a color. But if
Yeah.
she had headphones on and she has no clue the conversation we're having, I ask her a question such as like, "What's your favorite animal?" You
Yeah.
know, she can't come up with a word that's going to sound like that, and if she does, then that's like for sure a guaranteed response. Like if she came
Exactly.
through and said like dog, it's like she doesn't know the question. Something just responded with the word dog. Like that's crazy, you
Wow.
know.
It's a more like a it's more of a fail or
It's a
not.
fail safe, yeah.
It's a fail safe, since you're not assuming, and it kind of gives more probable
Yeah.
evidence, I
Takes
guess.
the assumption out of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's a lot better to hear,
Yeah,
honestly.
you could hear
You're
better.
not like listening to
Yeah.
the speaker on the spirit box. You have it like on your ears, It's a lot easier to
Yeah.
hear, I feel like. And you can, with me personally, I can just close my eyes and focus in and listen to the static, and it's a lot easier for me to listen at least.
Nice. Awesome. Have you tried automatic writing to contact spirits?
Automatic writing?
Yeah.
Oh, on the Ovilus
Yeah.
device?
Yeah.
Yeah. We
I
don't really mess with that function too much. We mainly just use the dictionary mode on the Ovilus, but the writing or the drawing like is I've seen it do some weird stuff, but I like we don't do it too much because the dictionary mode is there, so we like that better.
Yeah.
easier to
Okay.
communicate.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Um, do you think that spirits rather be attached to the property than moving on?
You can answer that first.
I'm not sure. You know, it's tough to say. I think it depends. I think there's more to it than just like being attached to a property versus moving on. I think there's things in life that they feel like they didn't complete, or like maybe their lives ended too soon, or
Yeah.
maybe they dealt with so much abuse at a location that it's like now they're imprinted and they're stuck there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm not sure.
They could have
That's
liked it and they could
yeah,
have
they could
just
have liked it
enjoyed it
there.
enough, their life enough to where they just decided to stay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are a lot of
Like I
factors.
was, like I was shown, like when I passed, like God showed me a lot of things where there was this guy. God showed me there was this guy in the room. He passed away, and he was supposed to make it. He's supposed to, go through wherever he was gonna go to, you know, and all of a sudden it sucked them back into their environment, and that's bad for any human being because it can attach himself to a human being. Because when that guy's long gone, all his stuff are gone, and he wants to be alive so bad that could cause harm to a human being.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he's still confused why he didn't go to his second place he was supposed to go.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
some can't help it. Some just that's just a messed up way. I mean, you know what I mean? Like maybe that's
Yeah.
a scout stay in that location. You know, man, it's like this, like, you know, like what I feel is when an investigator goes into a property, they gotta have respect for the spirits because you don't know what kind of afterlife they're going through and
Yeah.
how they are, why they're trapped, and maybe that would be their own demise to
Yeah.
leave them. You know what I
And
mean?
that's
Maybe it might
that's
be a happy place for them too. I
and
mean,
that's
they,
why I'm big
yeah,
on the respect thing.
yep,
When we go to these places, I all of my investigators, I ask them to be very respectful when it comes to going to these places because you don't know who you're talking to, first of all. Second of all, you don't know, you know, what's gonna happen, how they're gonna react to it. I mean, you go in being disrespectful, they could just stop talking to you.
Guns
Like you were
blazing.
saying earlier, you're on their time. You
yep,
know,
They'll
they
talk to
don't
you when they
they don't
want.
care about us. We are on their time. And if you come in there like guns a blazing, like she just said, like
mm-hmm,
there's a chance you won't get responses,
mm-hmm,
and not even that, but like
The responses you want.
yeah, like it's just the respect thing is a huge thing.
yeah,
You're in their house. Like this is they lived
yeah,
here, and you don't know how they're seeing us because like I've been
exactly,
going into theories about how they see us or how they perceive us. If it's like
mm-hmm,
similar to how we see them, that they see us a similar way. You know what I mean?
yes,
So like
yes,
you don't know how they're seeing it. Like we could be like this scary shadow figure or something like that. And
Trying to talk to
they're
them.
like, hey buddy, like chill out.
yeah.
um so it's like a respect thing is a huge thing.
Well, I feel, here's how I feel. Like I know I've been there. I died and I came back. You know, died 2 times and was put on an event and everything. But um, how I seen it is how you see your place now. That's how you see your afterlife. You see everything all around you normal. You know, and the way that it's just like when you die, like when you live now normal. When you die, it feels like you're meant to be there. You know, that's your eternity. And some spirits, they have that little bad thing. It's keeping them there in that little moment or lingo, whatever, it's stuck in, a time loop. That's what's keeping them there.
Hmm.
There's no stopping it but God.
Yeah.
Um, and when they're doing that, you know what I mean? Like it's just like the tape recorder theory, like like they're not paying attention to you, but like people that can actually see spirits, like mediums or whatever, I think I'm saying it right, mediums and stuff like that. Like they can see them, but they can see their pain in their eyes. Like, oh my God, when is this gonna stop? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, and that means their soul is there. You know what I mean? But in reality, no one can help him. They're stuck there till God comes for them, and then He's going to judge them. That's their eternity. Why they're there? They committed what they did, and that's it. Like some
Hmm.
people are just like, yeah, 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 whatever, whatever. No, but I mean, it's what I seen. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and it's a wild experience. I mean, like, you know, um, but Diane said, "Do you have a video of?" Yeah, I do. Bubbles on. So it's on one of my live streams. I'll put it on a description. It talks about the Q&A and everything. What
Yeah,
I
I'd like to test that or not test that out, but watch that your testimony about that because you were telling us
yeah,
a little bit about that. I'm
yeah.
curious about it.
It's wild. It's like 100 miles an hour. Like when you're a spirit, it's like you don't have a physical body no more.
Well,
And
I'm sure time goes by a lot
yeah, it
quicker.
does. It
Yeah.
does. Like I told friends, I was like, oh, it felt like eternity being in there.
Yeah.
And it felt like just being you just lonely, desperate, sad, hearing your loved ones everywhere. They're always near you, no matter what.
Right.
What I mean? Even in eternity, it
Yeah, I'll have
sucks,
to.
but at the same time, like, wow, just incredible. So,
Yeah, I'll have to. If you send me the link to that, I'll have to watch it because I was a
yeah,
little curious about that. Even if you want to text me and
yeah,
tell me more about it, because
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. I
very
will.
curious.
Yeah. Well, I'm about to hop off too because I got to do some things. But thank you for coming up. When's your next investigation?
So we actually are headed to an investigation tomorrow. But our next episode comes out on March 4th. We're doing this special called March Madness.
Mhm.
It's 4 investigations within 4 weeks consecutive.
Mhm.
All the videos going up on our YouTube channel, Blood Moon Paranormal. So it'll be Edinburgh Manor on March 4th, and then Malvern Manor on March 11th. On the 18th, it'll be Davies House. And then on the 25th, it'll be Blackford County Jail, which is actually where we're headed to tomorrow to investigate. So,
Oh, wow. I want to see that one. Yeah, I got to catch up with more of your videos. I mean, so my fiance is just like, oh, that's pretty cool. Because I mean, I've seen some of your videos. I was like, oh man, like that's so awesome how they use their equipment and they have respect for the spirits too.
thank you so
You
much.
know?
That means a lot.
Oh, you're welcome.
Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of paranormal investigators that are starting out there and everything. And I like give them a chance to come on here and tell their story. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
no,
put it
it was
on
fun.
there. I'll talk to you more about it later on, but yeah,
For sure.
I just put it on YouTube. I put it on the chat, and everybody wants to go check it out. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's interesting. Life's just interesting. Like, I mean, there's so many things that God showed me. I say God because, I mean, if it wasn't for Him, all this wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? I mean, we wouldn't
Right.
be investigating such and such. And I know there's some kind of like you don't do's and don't doing those. But it's more like if you like I said when I died, if you could just listen, you can hear me. And yeah. I'm gonna go to end this, everybody. Thank you for coming up, y'all too, and
Yeah, thank you for having
Yes,
us.
thank you for
Seriously,
having
it was
us.
fun.
yeah, thank you for sharing your journey, and thank
Absolutely.
you for letting me believe in yours. So
Yeah.
God bless you, man.